There's nothing anyone can tell me. Tech HR, the recruitment team, they despise tech guys like me. Yeah, because why? Why do they always treat us like we don't matter? I know, right? You're wondering why what she's saying. So sometimes ago, I applied for a tech role. I found this role on LinkedIn, and they needed a front end engineer with 2 years and above experience. I went through the requirements. I went through um, the job requirement, and I saw myself as the best match for the job, and so I applied. It took them about 2 days to respond to me, and I was invited for an interview, a tech interview. I wanted to be sure if it was going to be an oral interview or a live coding, and so I responded to the mail with that question. And yeah, they go back to me and cleared my doubts that it's going to be an oral interview, and so I prepared for an oral interview. On the night of the interview, meanwhile, the interview was supposed to be for 8 p.m. I was wondering who invites somebody for an interview by 8 p.m. in Nigeria. But yeah, I needed the job, and so I didn't mind. I accepted the interview, the invitation. On the night of the interview, I smashed. And because I know I did really well at the interview, I was expecting their feedback to move me to the next phase. And they moved me to the next phase. Like 2 days later, they sent me a mail, told me congratulations, I was moved to the next phase. And the next phase was supposed to be a tech test. It gave me endpoint to consume, and I had 4 days, including weekend, to do this test, which I did. I put in my best, I put in the work, you know, I wrote my code, I burnt the candles, and yeah, I submitted, I turned in the tests in due time. And because I knew what I did in the tests, I did well. And so I was hopeful. I was really hopeful. I was really, really expecting their feedback to say, oh, congratulations, and all of that. And so 1 week passed. Like almost every day, I was always checking my phone, expecting the mail, checking my mails. And 1 week passed, I didn't see any mail. I'm like, I really super want any mail. I should reached out to them, yeah, to remind them or to request for a feedback whether or not I passed the test. Because I mean, I wanted to know what I did wrong or what I did well, how to improve next time, and all. And so, 2 days later, they also replied that mail to say that congratulations, I passed the phase, and then they invited me for the final interview. Again, the final interview was supposed to be for 8:30 p.m. on a Friday, yeah. And so, I accepted the interview. I was supposed to meet with about 6 people on that interview. That was already overwhelming for me, but I mean, I went. And on the day of the interview, something came up. The product manager in the company asked me a question, and it's like, if you were given an internship role, would you take it? And if you won't take it, why won't you take it? I first I was like, how did you get here? She answered the question. I can't remember. I should answer the question, and we all went on and on in the interview, and in the end, we finished the interview. And I was expecting the my offer letter. I mean, at this point, I already knew that I did well, and I deserved to get an offer letter, and so I was expecting. About 2 days later, the offer letter came. It came on a Sunday, and it came with congratulations for your um front end internship role. Guys, I was angry. I was like, you say what? Internship role? How? I actually applied for a front end role next year, to be precise. How did you get here? We didn't even talk about money, salary, nothing. And next thing I'm seeing is internship role. How? Was I supposed to pick up the internship role? I felt really sad actually, and I was now wondering, am I the only one feeling this way? Are there other people that are feeling this way? Are there other people that have had these experiences? Or like am I the only one that feels that like HR guys in tech don't like us? And so I decided to reach out to my friends because I mean I have a lot of friends in this career, and I decided to reach out to them. I sent them a WhatsApp VN to find out their experiences, how like they've what they faced, the experiences they had during their recruitment processes, especially with Nigerian tech industry or Nigerian tech companies. Um, and yeah, I got their feedback.
Why do they like giving too much pressure, like short notice this one, and then they'll tell you to do a task within a very, very short period of time. Meanwhile, white people or white guys, they can just give you one small task and then tell you to go for 1 week. I think that part just shows how how useless the work would be. Maybe you can like bring it up. It just shows how useless the work would be because once you start on that note, when you now get on the job, it's those kind of people that will not have any project management system.
Why do they why do they always rate engineers so low that the pay grade is not something to write home about?
Okay, the funny one that happened to me just for an interview, I think for Union Bank, and it was like the last leg, the last stage. Like we've had like two, I've had like two share, and that was like the last stage with the CTO. So they have interview. This man first of all like delayed me. He had meetings. I had to wait for him. Where like the secretary or whoever was like, please wait for him. He has some meeting. Blah blah blah. Waited for him for like almost 30 minutes or an hour. I was on the call with him. I couldn't do anything, so I won't miss him when he comes in. So eventually, when we had the interview, someone was asking me, "Are you the only girl? What do you do at home?" Like even questions that were not unrelated at all. Um, who do you live with? What kind of question is this? So, and I think I don't know. Maybe they wanted somebody that I don't know. Maybe they're just looking at the fact that I'm a lady, I'm a woman, and they feel that maybe I won't have enough time, probably because of chores and all of that.
As you can see, they had a lot of questions to ask, and I was not the right person to answer those questions. So I reached out to a tech recruiter, Bolo who has 3 years experience as a tech HR to answer all of these questions. Hi, Bolo.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
very well.
Thank you so much for accepting to be on this interview today. I really appreciate it.
Speaking.
So, Bolo, you studied computer science, and now you're like a tech HR. What's the transition? What came about it?
Mm. Talking about transition. So I had this idea of what aspect of HR, so rather aspect of computer I wanted to go into, but
Okay.
the opportunity never presented itself. Then NYC got me to be part of HR. Then, yeah, I just took it up from there.
Maybe
So
something you really liked.
yeah, something I really had interest in.
Oh, cool. All right. So, as an experienced HR,
Mhm.
right, in the tech space, do you think that Nigerian tech guys are underqualified
Okay.
compared to guys, tech guys outside the country? So, do you
Okay.
think that they're underqualified for any role at all that you put out there?
Okay. So I think that one of the very first thing I'd like to say is that the company I work for is an international company.
Oh, cool.
So having tech guys, I'm saying that tech guys in Nigerian space are not qualified for national roles is going to be a very wrong statement to make
All right.
because within the short period that I've worked with this company, we've had clients. a lot of clients from the international space, and I have a couple of friends that work for international space. One of the major reasons why there's like this rush for talent in Nigeria or talent in Africa is because they get to pay us less,
Yeah.
and which means much more money for us. That's why the fact that they are paying us less.
Yeah.
So if we were not accurately doing the job well, they would not be in our space at
Yeah.
all.
True.
They would have to. They would just say, "Oh, those guys, they are not up to the task. Don't let's employ from this country." It's just very easy to blacklist Africa, to blacklist Nigeria,
Yeah.
basically, because we already have a bad reputation as a nation. But outside guys are doing very very well out there. A lot of Nigerians are in the tech space. A whole lot of Nigerians are
Yeah.
in tech space. Once you come out, it's like now the new thing that once I come out from school now I'm not doing anything. Oh, I'm learning tech.
Yeah.
I'll go and
True.
do Udemy course or you work course on Udacity.
Yeah.
I just say that I'm a tech guru. I'm looking for tech job technically, but a lot of in Nigeria we have a whole host of fantastic guys that are in the tech space, and we qualify because we're exposed in one way or the other to this software and these tools that is being used in the international space.
Okay. So that being said, we are not underqualified.
No, we are not. We are
Okay.
not.
And we are great.
Well, great is relative, and not being underqualified is relative. What I learn or how I learn, in tech is different from how another person will learn.
Yeah.
Some people have experience of just sitting down by their tables and learning how to code from different websites. While some people it's on the job. The job
Yeah.
requires that you learn, you gain a whole lot of knowledge. So it is different per person. Some
True.
people have had the exposure enough to be able to cope in the international space, while
Mm.
some people have not.
But have you had any experience with any dev that you
Okay,
employed
okay,
and the person did not deliver?
yeah, absolutely.
What's the ratio?
Ratio isn't so much. Yeah, I think that one of the things that this mostly happened when I just started, being a tech recruiter, and I didn't know how to, fish out for the right person for the role.
Okay.
But
Okay.
over time, I learned how to get the best person
So
for the
the
role.
guy
I've
have
put
been
a
dumping
process.
us.
I put a process in place. It's not about jumping. I've just put a process in place to help me
Okay.
identify the best person for the
We are
role.
coming to that process. We are
Okay.
coming there. Okay, so one of the things that I identified from when I was doing my research for this interview,
Okay.
people's experience, they have this feeling that, or they have this disgust that you guys don't get back to them. What do you think about that? So I apply for a job or a role,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even get an email that says I passed the first stage. Maybe you viewing
Okay.
my application, and maybe you want to go ahead or you don't want to go ahead. So do you think it's, in your opinion, in your
Mm-hmm.
experience, do you think it's fine to get back to this applicant saying that you're qualified or you're not qualified?
Absolutely, it's right for you to let people know that you're not moving ahead with your application. You're moving ahead
Mm-hmm.
with your application. If there's a delay,
Yeah.
due to maybe unforeseen circumstances, and maybe you're placing the role on hold, you just need to communicate this to people
Okay.
because you're trying to build as much as possible. A lot of people don't understand the need to build a talent pipeline, and
Mm.
also the way people become less interested in roles that they apply for also is also a reason behind these issues. But absolutely you need to get back to people. if you
Yeah.
are if you are rejecting someone, you need to let the person know that you are rejecting them. And also the I think that what happens is that a whole lot of a whole lot of recruiters, not just tech recruiters, are lazy, so they don't
Okay.
have a,
Lazy.
a proper process to do
Okay.
things. So you're telling people to send in their CV via email to you. How are you keeping track of the CVs that have been sent to you? Are you just reviewing it and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going with this person next? Instead of actually taking time to compose it, even if it's just a generic message you send to them,
Yeah.
because all these platforms, all these recruitment platforms already have these things in place. So once you click on reject, they automatically
Just
send the person
yeah.
an
True.
email. So if you are asking for people to send you their CV via email, you also need to make out time to be able to copy out their email, which that you're going to send a BCC at once, or as you are going through it you are responding immediately. So you need to do these things. You need to put all of these processes in place.
So do you encourage remote interviews, or do you have
Okay.
a
Okay,
reservation
so it's very dependent on the role.
on the role? Okay.
Yeah. Some people have not moved on from the aspect of, oh, we've moved past, people being in the office, people somebody having to sit down beside by their desk, have to see the
Yeah.
person face to face before you
Face,
realize that the
face.
person is doing their work. Some people have not moved past it. Whereas some people have moved past it. So if you are recruiting for a role that requires that this person has to be in the office, maybe at least once a week or
Yeah.
twice a week, it's advised for you to, actually get to see this person.
Okay.
So you want to see this person, take note of this person's cultural behavior, because culture matters in every interview. So I'm going to have cultural questions for you.
Yeah.
People believe that it's very stupid of the HR to ask you that. So why did you choose us? It is not because they just want to ask stupid question. It is not for the sake of stupid question.
Mm.
It's for the sake of, I want to hear what this person is saying. This person is going to be a culture fit in this organization. That's the reasons why they ask these kind of questions.
Okay. So, tech guys
Mm,
sometimes they can be really technical.
okay.
Most times you don't want to pay attention to all of this culture one thing. They just want to, okay, just give me the test, let me can do the test,
Have a
pass the
job or not.
test. Yeah. So what do you have to say about that?
About, from the aspect of tech guys not caring
Yes,
about
not
culture.
caring about maybe culture or like all this soft skill and every other thing. Do you
It's-
guys like require them to
yeah, so
care
it depends
about
on the
it?
role. Imagine you are recruiting for a team lead role.
Okay.
You have to you have to employ somebody that has people skills,
Okay.
because you cannot employ someone that just decides that, oh, I'm not going to talk to anybody till I'm done with my job. I'm not good at communicating. Communication is not my thing. It's going to be a problem for the entire team. So you have to employ somebody that has people skills and all of that. And I think that that guy should actively, if you are applying for a role, you understand the JD. Not to say that there are not some jobs out there that you see the JD and you're just confused as to where the recruiter got this JD from and
Yeah.
how it has to do with the role. But you're applying for a job, you don't just see a job and be like, oh, click, apply. I think this one fits my behavior. Apply, 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 apply. And to everyone role out there,
Yeah.
there are about 100 people that have clicked on apply for the role.
Yeah.
Especially when the role is paid for, because the
Yeah.
role is open to much more people to see.
Oh, okay.
So when you sponsor a
Makes
job
sense.
ad, you pay for it. There's like 100 people that you have to
Okay.
go through their CVs and all of that.
Yeah.
So don't just click on apply because the title of the job says software engineer. You need to understand this software engineer that is there, is my stack included there? Am
Yeah.
I qualified? Because sometimes we ask questions like, oh, professional years of experience should be this, and this is a deal breaker. So because you know that the software is going to reject it because it's stated in the JD that they will need somebody of 4 years, you now
Yeah.
put 4. Meanwhile, you don't have 4.
So
So you need to actually, software guys need to actually do better and note that, oh, do I qualify for this role? Should I apply for it or not? So this will help you to make better judgments.
okay, so I have something to read to you from one of my guys that was complaining about HR tech HR guys.
Okay.
So he's saying that
They most of these people, like, they receive huge amounts of money from for the projects, and then they just look for cheap labor. So another reason why a developer might want to just look outside, probably to other companies or to other countries, is the money part. These companies are making money. The HR, especially the HR, they look for ways to reduce your money.
Quick question, no, just quick second. Is person
yeah,
implying that the HR is supposed to disburse funds to them?
no, the person is implying that
Okay,
you've had this discussion with the
management.
management
Okay,
and the management would have said you guys would have agreed on some amount of money and then you are now coming to cut it down.
okay, all right. Yeah, so I will not. I won't lie that a couple of HR people do that because they are trying to cut costs. Ensure every company is made to make profit.
Wow.
There's always a budget around every hiring. This is the range I want to pay. As an HR person, I would want to ensure that at least I go towards the lower part of the, I tilt towards the lower part of the range
Yeah.
of the budget that the company has brought up, because the company is born to make money.
Yeah.
So in order to make money, you have to negotiate, and negotiating skills is something that you must have as a recruiter and so as
Yeah.
an HR person. So basically,
Okay. First, do you guys do research aside the CV that we submit?
do research
Yes, about the
about the
person.
role or
Yeah,
about the
the
person.
person.
So companies do what they call verification,
Okay.
whereby they are even companies that do verification. That their own job is to verify that this person is who they say they are.
Oh,
All the qualifications they say they have,
yeah.
all the companies they said they work with, they do. So companies do that,
Okay.
while sometimes while trying to hire the person. That's why sometimes they go as asking for guarantors from you or referees for you that they can contact to ask one or
Right.
two questions about you. Of
Right.
course, me as a person, I won't submit that person as
Okay.
my referee or as my guarantor.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that that person will put in a good word for me.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we still sort of do like background research around this person.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are already in the job already before this verification, this background research happen,
Yeah.
and depending on what the outcome of the research will determine if the person gets to keep the job, if the person doesn't get to keep the job.
Okay. So that being said, it means that to an extent
Mm-hmm.
you've gone through the person's experience, the person's said experiences,
Yeah.
and you know that okay, this person has 4 years experience,
Okay,
as I
like they
said,
said, yeah.
and then in the process of your interview and recruitment process, the person gets to the first, second, third, and the last stage
Mm-hmm.
of the interview process, and then you come up with an excuse that the person cannot move forward because the person is not a good fit for that role.
Okay.
So, how do you balance
So
that?
saying that someone is not a good fit is relative to the applicants you have for the role.
Yeah,
So we have, like I said earlier, to one job post, to one tech job post, there is about maybe 100 people that have applied for the role. Let's say, for example, 100 people have applied for the role.
yeah,
Out of those 100 people, you will find at least 20 people that would probably do very well in the interview stage, and you now have to start cutting down on who we should go for, who we should not go for, and what's not to do and what not to do. So saying that someone is not a good fit means that there's somebody that was better for that role in the company's eyes, not because the person didn't pass the interview stage, but because somebody had probably had the better qualification, somebody was able to sweet talk, quote and unquote, during the interview process,
yeah.
and somebody was able to pass the technical stage more than you did, basically. So that's why we always use the term good fit. Sometimes I want to go for example, I have a role, I'm trying to fill a role of somebody of let's say, for example, I'm filling a senior role, and everybody needs to have 10 years of experience. Well, this is the stack, and the major stack to be worked on, both of us have 10 years of experience.
Mhm.
We both apply for the role. Let's say the main stack for the role is React, and you say that, oh, I have maybe 5 years of working with React, and the other person says, oh, in my entire 10 years of working, it's React I've been using majorly.
Mhm.
Or okay, on the plus side, or aside, knowing React, I know React native.
Okay, so you're saying that maybe somebody else has an advantage over
Yes, technically. So the
person.
person has advantage over the other person.
Okay, okay. So what are read some okay, you're a tech HR, you're mostly in the important decision making process.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the decision room,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, so if after an interview process, you guys are seated on a table,
Mm-hmm.
you're in that room that says, oh, Ihichi is so person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We are like 5 people that interviewed for that role,
Yes.
right? What are the things that you see as red flags that this person had and this person
Okay.
did not have? So, like, can you give us like some things that we do that we should avoid, basically?
Okay, so this is relative to the role to start
Okay.
with. But I know that a couple of times I've been in interview sessions where I can visibly notice that this person is googling the answer to the question I just asked. Tech guys do that a lot. I can visibly
Okay.
just see it. So you just need to come prepared for a role. And this not to say that myself I've not googled question before. I've
Okay.
googled question before. I've had interviews, not work related interviews in this instance, but I've had interviews whereby I need to quickly get the answer and I need to quickly Google the answer before I look
Okay.
stupid to this person. Now I get the point of doing that, but as much as you might be tempted to do that, or as much as you do that,
Yeah.
don't let the person at the other end of the call know that you are
That
doing
you're doing
something. Your
such.
attention is being carried away. Have good internet. I feel like it's very poor on you as somebody that is applying for a role and we are having a remote interview and your network is bad.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that we don't have network issues in Nigeria. We have terrible network issues, but
Okay.
you know what works for you best. Have a backup of a backup. Having a backup to the role to this stage, just helps. Or you come to the interview and you're late.
Yeah.
It speaks very ill of your character to come to the interview late. And as much as you came late, you don't now apologize for coming late. You just want
Apologies.
to start immediately that, oh, yeah, I'm here. Oh, yeah, let's start. You need to apologize. Let them know that, oh, this is the issue that you're facing. Your internet is also bad. You came back to the call. You're apologizing about that happening. You don't as much as the recruiter is not doing you a favor, you are the one looking to work with them.
Cool.
You should be able to present yourself in a better manner,
Mm.
a better, if you don't know the answer to a question, be truthful about it. Being truthful about it sometimes even gets you ahead of somebody else.
Okay.
You don't understand the question. Oh, okay. Do you mind rephrasing it? Oh, I don't know the answer to this question, but I think that you are giving your thoughts on it, whether you are wrong or right.
Right.
And one thing I've come to learn, in the line of work that is that there's no foolish answer to any question. There's no stupid answer
So
to any
you're saying
question.
like just answer.
I'm not saying you should answer stupidly. I'm not saying you should answer stupidly. I
Okay.
cannot ask you that what is A and you're telling me what B is and
Yes.
you're saying with confidence and I'm like, eh? And you're still saying it again. It's going to be an
But they
issue
say
in
we
the
should be
future.
confident.
Yeah, be
Now.
confident, but don't say rubbish in your confidence. It's great. It's good for you to confidently say that. Oh, I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
Than for you to start, beating around the bush just because you want to let the recruiter know that you know it.
Yeah.
You don't know it. You don't know it. A if it's a deal breaker for them, they will let
Yeah.
you know that it's a deal breaker for them. If
Okay.
it's not, they move on to the next question.
Mm.
Because you cannot know every
Every
question.
question.
You cannot know the answer to every question. At least you should know 60-70% of the questions. Not to say that somebody else might not know all the answers to the questions. But yeah, those are things that you need to put in place. You need to set in place because aside all these technical questions, there's always the cultural part to everything in recruitment. You cannot come to a meeting late and you cannot come and start lying about things. It begins to help me question your integrity as a person.
Yeah.
Will this person do well with the company? This is kind of person I want to hire to fill the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said something about the company
Mm-hmm.
not doing um us a favor with the
Okay.
applicants now,
Yeah.
right? So do you say we should also look at ourselves as HR guys interviewing the company as well? Because as much as
The
you're
company is
interviewing
interviewing.
us,
Yeah.
if I don't like your culture, your work culture, I also do not want to work with you.
Yes. Yes. You have the power, to make a decision.
Okay.
I think I've gotten to interview stage and I went for the interview and the person that interviewed me, spoke to me in a very condescending manner. I told
Understanding.
myself that if I eventually get this job, I'm not taking this job because this person cannot be my boss.
Right.
Because I would not like to work with somebody like this. Eventually, I didn't get the job though, but it was you have the power to make your decisions. You don't
Yeah.
just make this decision because I need a new job. Let me just get the job. I always say this to people that
Yeah.
ask me that you're getting employed into a new job and you want to find out if this place is a good place, if it's a bad place or not. Your go-to person is somebody that used to work there before because somebody that's currently working there might not tell you the entire truth.
Okay.
Maybe the issues that somebody that works there before had,
Yeah.
somebody currently working there might not have that
Have
issue.
it.
You might want to make your own research about these companies and all, and also ask the HR. For example, my company has one very bad review on Glassdoor. The company I work for, they have just one very bad review on Glassdoor, and I've been interview sessions where the person I'm interviewing asks me that, oh, this is what I read on Glassdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Should this be a concern for me?
Okay.
I I should be able to answer the person, not
Yeah.
just get thrown off guard, because you are making a decision that would positively or negatively affect
Affecting
your
life.
life. So you need to also, be able to know, okay, I want to say yes, I want to say no to this job or not. So
Yeah.
you're also, as much as your interview session, you are also allowed to interview the company. You're allowed to ask questions.
Okay. So, is there any is there any foolish question, especially when it comes to asking about the company? And also, is it fine to, like, maybe you have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
or is it fine to know somebody in the company before you can actually accept? Because some people, I've heard, I know, I listened to a HR coach, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, if you don't have anybody in the company, if you don't have any contact to the company, if you cannot ask anybody about the company, don't go.
Okay. So some people play this, don't do that, and
Yeah.
they end up getting a job at a good company. Well, what works for everybody does what works for somebody might not work for the other person. So it's not a do or die affair to have somebody in the company.
Yeah.
You just want to make your research about the company before you make a decision about signing off their offer letters. I There are some people that are very excited to sign offer letter. I just sign. I send to you, just sign it. And to
Yeah.
be honest, it makes my job easier as a recruiter. For me to send the offer letter and just sign it. And at the same time, when people begin to ask questions, it doesn't bother me,
Yeah.
because you know I'm being as truthful as possible with this person, because this decision is going to impact their life. So therefore, I should not try to play corny with their life. I should not try to be funny about things with them.
Talking about remote jobs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, from our conversation so far,
Okay.
you recruit for an international company,
Hmm.
meaning that the company is not based in Nigeria, right?
Company is based in Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay.
So the company is based in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to talk about the company a bit?
Hmm. Do I want to talk about the company a
It's
bit?
fine if you don't want to.
All right. Yeah, it's like a free advert for the company, right? It should be a free advert for the company. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I work with Parallel Score, a product development company. We leverage on emerging technologies. If you attend any interview session, these are some things I say. But yeah,
Okay.
we leverage on emerging technologies to develop most of our products. So that's what we do at Parallel Score. And emerging technologies, mean a lot of research and development, and we do that a lot.
Okay. So have you um have you recruited devs and
Okay.
then they work from home?
Okay.
Do you have any of your devs that work from home?
Yeah, so most of our team, we're a remote company
Okay.
because of the nature of our job, which is the best option to work, best way to work.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of developers. So most of our, not most, all of our team, everybody in the team works remotely.
Everybody. So what
Yeah.
are the challenges that you have faced with?
Yeah, so I think that the communication is like one of the major problems that we would always keep having within the company, because we don't. I need something from me. I don't get to badge into the office to ask you that, oh, where's this thing I asked you for?
Right.
So communication is always a major issue.
Okay. Communication. What else?
Yeah, communication, holding people accountable is like one of the major problems. Not everybody have great work ethics. Some people come and they have great work ethics, so you don't have to pursue people constantly to exhibit your great work ethics. But
Right.
for some people, it's different. Not everybody is the same within the organization.
So, when in the recruitment process,
Yeah.
how best do you advise applicants to sell themselves?
Yeah, so being able to show what you worked on in the past, And and not to say that there are not companies out there that have tried to steal people's idea.
Right.
Yeah, there are companies that have done that, but when you apply for a role and you apply for a job and the company you're applying to is a new company, there's a level of exposure you want to give to that company. You want to sell yourself best to a company. You want to explain to them that, oh, okay, for this role I've worked on something in this line. This is what it looks like. Just a little demo. You want to build up your portfolio,
Okay.
basically. So you have to build up your portfolio in order to show that, oh, you are fit for this role. Depending on what the requirements for the roles are, you need to understand what the requirements is also.
Right. So speaking of requirements,
Yeah.
when you put out your job, we usually see responsibilities, so a lot of things on
Yeah.
the job interview. The
JD.
yeah, I don't know what that means, but
Job description.
yes, job description exactly. So is it fine for um applicants to keep like read, work on the job description? Because I know that some people will be like, they need this person, no, the person now check person's CV. I don't have this on my CV. You now swap it for what you have on your CV. So is it enough? Is the job is it enough for you to just have the job descriptions, or you want to work more on your CV or something?
Okay, so you're applying for a job
Yeah,
and you see that the job description doesn't really match your CV and you want to tweak your CV in order for that to
yeah,
fit.
exactly.
I would say that's a no no. It's not something you should do first because first of all you are being untruthful. So the job description is asking for someone with that knows how to that does React Flutter
Yeah.
and React Native, and you decide that, oh, I need to put all of these three technologies in my CV before I submit it. You are being untruthful.
What if you can
What
learn
if
on the job?
no, it's a different case entirely if you can learn on the job. It's a different case entirely if the job description says, oh, having Flutter is knowing Flutter is a plus.
Yeah.
It's a different case scenario entirely for that to happen.
Yeah.
But when they say, oh, you must know Flutter to get the job, it's also a different ballgame entirely. Meaning that they are telling you that, oh, you need to know Flutter in order to be able to do the job.
Yeah.
Meaning that Flutter is a no, it's a deal breaker for them. So you don't know Flutter, you're not able to do the job. They don't consider you fruitful enough for the job. I know that we are all looking for jobs out there, but
Yeah.
as much as possible, be transparent with what you know. If you want to learn on the job, you need to understand if these technologies that they're asking about, if it's a do or die affair.
Yeah.
If it's a do or die affair, you need to let it go, not to come and lie on it with your CV. But if it's not a do or die affair, let them know that, yeah, you're willing to learn on the job, you're willing to pick up the pace, to get better at these things.
Okay. So before now, you talked about LinkedIn being a marketplace. Okay, so it's actually overwhelming when you get to LinkedIn, you
Yeah,
see a front end dev role,
yeah,
and you just saw that the job was put up 2 hours ago,
yeah,
and you're seeing 200 and something people already applied.
yeah.
What's your advice?
If you think that you're fit for the role, yeah, go ahead and apply. If you think you are you're a good match for the role, go ahead and apply because
Mhm.
LinkedIn, as much as I said that LinkedIn is a marketplace, there are a lot of people that might not be qualified for a role. I'll
Yeah.
still go ahead and apply. In my experience, I've had that issue a whole lot of times where people are not qualified for the role, but they'll still go click on apply.
Apply.
Testing their luck because
Right.
somebody has told them something somewhere that, oh, I was just applying to different jobs. All of a sudden, I got the breakthrough job.
True.
Some very ridiculous
Yeah.
conversation from a motivational speaker. But I would advise that you see a job, you see so many applications on it already. Don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
That might just be the next job, next big thing that might happen to you.
I know that when I started this tech journey, I was looking for job. It's like every day you wake up, make out 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
right, to apply for at least 10 to 20 jobs. Because I mean they're like um job hunting. It's a game of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that a lot. So I wanted to. I know my how I got my own job was not by searching for jobs. That was a plan. So that didn't work for me. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Okay, so more more than often, the game of numbers actually don't work for people than they make it look like. Actually, doesn't work that way. Whereby you wake up, apply for 20 10 to 20 jobs
Yeah, I was doing that a
in
lot.
a day, because it doesn't work, because not all these 20 jobs would have the stack that you have. Not all of these jobs will be a miraculous wonder working, where they will say that, oh, they allow you to come and learn on the job. It doesn't work that way all the time for all the what's it called, all the roles. So I would advise that you take your time to look for jobs that actually fit your own job description, because you're looking for a job. You should have a job description, kind of job you want to do, kind of roles you are looking for. So take out time to look for all these roles. Understand the special names that different companies give to these roles. Some company will come and say front end developer. Some will come and say React Native developer. I'm saying React Native a lot. React Native developer. So look
No,
for roles that suit you as a person, and your tech journey, basically. So not in the game of numbers, because in the game of numbers you can be applying for the wrong
exactly.
jobs.
So because I agree, because in the game of numbers,
Mm-hmm.
you can just, okay, because I want to apply for 20 number
Yeah,
today, you just apply for anything that has to do with software engineering, both
yeah,
front end, back end, and know. So that being said, right? When you go on LinkedIn, just like you said before, you
okay.
see a lot of people. You as a HR person, do you get overwhelmed? Do you have to go through each and every application that you see on site?
Absolutely.
You have to do that.
Yeah, I have to do that. So
So if
most of the time, we try to put questions in place in order to boycott some people, but people still come and lie about these things.
you know,
So I have to review your either your CV or your profile, as the case might be. For LinkedIn, mostly your profile will show as I'm taking a look at your application.
yeah,
So I will take a look at your what you put on your profile already. So that then informs my decision on whether I want to reject you as an applicant or move on to the next stage with you as an applicant.
wow. So it means that okay, it means that every applicant has a chance
Mm-hmm.
of HR seeing their seeing their, what's it called, application.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely. For LinkedIn also, LinkedIn, it depends on the way you put in your job. For some jobs, you can route it back to your company's website. Whereby
okay,
you go back to the company's website in order to put in the application. So at the end of the day, you still get to see whatever they filled on your company's website at the back end. Some companies have junior staffs that do the shuffling of the CVs and all. Some
yeah,
companies don't. Most big companies have junior staffs that do that, and like I said, some big companies, some companies don't. So it just depends on the company. For example, I got 100 applications for a role, and I'm trying to fill a role urgently. Chances that I might not be very thorough with my checking will be there also, and chances that, okay, let's just give everybody a shot, because it's a whole lot of
yeah.
CVs to look at, is also there also. So it's different. It's different for everybody. For me as a recruiter, I would definitely go to your CV, because there's no rush
Yeah.
in the matter.
Okay, so when the number starts getting high, do you want to like
Yeah,
stop?
you might want to click a pause on the process.
Um. So do you have any last words for us?
Nah, I don't think I do. I don't have any last words right now.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
you're
being on this
welcome.
show. Yeah, that's all.
All right, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.